Hello, Western New York. And it's a lovely Friday morning. It's also Good Friday, which means I got the day off. Let's take a look at some of my mom's plants. It's amazing what a couple of weeks difference will do. I mean, it was like, and now, there it is, you know. Hopefully you see, because, you know what, they were just on the ground, and now they're at least as tall as my hand. I got good sized hands, you know. This year, amongst these daffodils, this one here is definitely open. We got this one. Like I said, I don't see any others on this. I mean, it's possible that this rootstock is dying, or maybe it's just too close together. Or, alternatively, maybe the bulbs, the flower ones, the ones that get flower, not yet popped up. You know, the leaves and stalks and whatnot. Same thing with these ones. I mean, still, I mean. I don't see any real difference on my blueberries. I mean, I think a few of them are starting to green up, but others, you know, I mean, maybe there's not. Well, then again, they do have a number of different varieties, and they have different timings, I believe. You know, I mean, so maybe by next week I'll be looking at all of them starting to, you know, budding up to, you know, put on little leaves and whatnot. So, and mind you, I put these in the ground over the last summer, so I'm not expecting anything to come of them. I mean, I might get a handful of blueberries from them. I mean, these ones, when I got them from the nursery, they did have like a couple on each one. And like I said, these ones right here, they were in a 5-in-1 plant, well, container. Well, I mean a 3-in-1 container. You know, some Dukes, some Elliott. You know, it was a Duke. No. Yes, there's Duke, Elliott, and Blue Crop. And they did have some blueberries, so I might get something on them. If, you know, I mean, there's a 5 plants in one with a couple of substitutes just in case the others died, you know. So, I mean, I can't see any new canes shooting up, but then again, it is mid-April, so I don't know. I'm not really sure. My roses over here, I don't know. But then again, it could just still be early in the year for them. Because one thing you might remember is I do live in a valley, and the temperature's a little different around here. Yeah, what do you know? Well, my wild rose is starting to put on some leaves. You know, who knows what next week's going to look like. I mean, here's my the red currant cuttings. I mean, these are doing reasonably well. I mean, considering these are the first time I've ever attempted growing red currant cuttings are, you know, I mean, I can't complain too much. And these are doing relatively well. I mean, it's coming back. I can't say I'm going to expect too much. I mean, I can't say I'm going to expect too much of anything out of my place. And, well, yeah, this is doing nicely. I mean, it's got a couple of good canes coming up. I mean, it's got some shooting. You know, it's got, you know, I mean. Now, I have mentioned I do plan to cut this probably right about here or so at some point. I mean, you know, it kind of depends, you know, on if I get any new canes or not. My gooseberry cuttings are also doing reasonably well, as are the plants themselves. With the exception of these ones, I mean, but then again, I put them in the ground last week, so, you know, that's to be expected. You don't see anything too impressive the first year. I mean, I just hope they survive. I mean, you know, and do good over the coming years, you know. My grapes, well, they're starting to see some swelling on the buds. First, like I mentioned, I am no expert on these, but I mean, they look like they're starting to come back. You know, just waking up, really. I mean, yeah, spider. There's one or two around in here. Well, this looks like it's starting to come back a little. I mean, I do plan to remove this board as well as the others around the porch today. I was thinking about filming it, but since I'm doing it with my brother and he does not want to be videotaped, I have to respect his wishes, and I won't videotape it. Yeah. I can't. Well, let's see here. Is there or is it? Actually, there is. There is new growth on my mama's one rose. And I think I see some more on this, some on this one, and more in general, which is of course a good thing. And I think our black-eyed Susans might be coming back too. You know, I mean, it's always good to see your plants come back. And don't know too much about my miniature rose here, but some of my mom's other plants are coming back by the looks. Again, these boards too will also be coming down, as well these ones. This looks like it's starting. As there's this wild one. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this thing, because, well, it did send up a cane that just I am not quite sure how much further it went, but you know, it was a good sized cane. You know, you had to slowly pull it out before I clipped it off. Well, the crocuses are starting to die. You know, they've been dying. for a little while, which is to be expected. The flowers do die. And at the same time, well, looks like some of my mom's tulips are starting to, pop out, the things that produce the flowers, it's kind of waiting on them ones, then there's, of course, the daffodils. Let's take a look over here. Can't say I see anything about the ferns popping out. I mean, but then again, it's still relatively early in the year. Not quite certain if we got any of the roses, of the tulips starting to pop out, but then again, never know. And well, it looks like this rose right here might be coming back. I can't say I see anything on the cone heads yet, but like I said, I mean, it's still relatively early in the year, and there's plenty of time. I mean, there's always time. A good deal of my my raspberries, red, black, and yellow, are starting to come leaf out, a little bit. I can't really tell with the blackberries too much because some of them still have leaves from last year somehow, maybe they're protected enough from the wind and whatnot. That being said, the lateral branches on this cane are starting to bud out a little bit, and I wouldn't be too surprised that by next week I got leaves popping out on them. Another thing I did prior to filming, before I started filming, was I loosened the mulch around these plants. That way the new canes will have freedom to pop out, while the hay around them slowly decomposes into organic matter. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to transplant my maples, There's a lovely sound up there. Chirp again, Birdie. Oh. Well, there you are. Well, let's look at my strawberry patch. Well, like you might have seen, I planted these the other day. I got at least about 60 of them in the ground. I mean, there may have been one or two that got double planted, but well, I put them in the ground. We did have a little bit of rain yesterday, so that should help them out. I mean, I'm probably going to need to water them later on today at some point. Black raspberries, they're starting to leaf out, most of them. Still got weeds to deal with, but I suppose that is going to be an ongoing battle no matter what I do. Well, this wild blackberry's coming back. It's good. So are a good number of my wild raspberries. They're leafing out and that sort of thing. I mean, like I mentioned, the only reason why I really have them here is just a pollinator stock. I mean, they were an experiment, to see how transplanting would work, and well, some of them have done well, and others not so well. And of course, looking at my black raspberries, they're doing reasonably well. I mean, some are a little slower than others, which is to be expected. I mean, this one's doing very well. Same thing with this one. This Kalani right here is doing pretty good. Then the Meekers, well, they're greening out. You know, they're putting up new canes. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I might end up having to get rid of this because, like I mentioned, I have plans to set up a trellis here and also by the barn. You know, with the purpose of, you know, straightening these things out. I am seeing new growth popping up. You know, new canes. So that's a good sign. That's a good start. And I've seen that they are indeed spreading. Like here. Part of me wonders if this came right from here or from here. You know, which would be a good thing, you know. Either way you look at it. I don't see any new shoots on the black raspberries yet, but I do see them on the fall golds. I did have some blackberry seeds, you know, that I put in the ground here, but they may or may not have taken, you know. Happens. The blackberries I got here, right, well, on the plus side, I think I got new growth. Yeah. On the not so plus side, I don't think all of my blackberries took. I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, but oh, wait a minute. That might be from this one, which would be a good thing. Because I mean, I got a mixture of Chester, Apache, and Arapaho in here, and the Apache I was having issues with. The Arapaho, not so much. I mean, that was good when it came to making it, you know. I mean, reasonably well. I mean, so basically, I'm just checking out to see what did and what didn't take, you know. I mean, you know. And at the moment, I'm just kind of leaving these kind of low. You know, they had these long. Some of them had long lateral branches that I'm just going to leave, you know, for now. They might turn into rootstock. Well, and on the plus side, some of the laterals are doing pretty good. Okay, which way are you going? And nothing else. I've seen good signs so far. Who knows? I mean, I might see a few more than a few canes pop up right in here. You know, might take a little bit, and who knows, I might decide, you know, put some soil on some of these lateral branches, right, you know, so that way I can get the roots to grow. You know, because that is indeed how you can increase your, you know, you use the lower canes that are just, you know, and you can increase your stock that way. Well, that's it for this. I guess that's it for this little video. This is Western New York. So subscribe if you like this. Post comments. Hit the little like button. And well, actually, let's take a quick look at some of these other trees. I mean, they're leafing out, just beautiful. I mean, this is spring. I mean, well, what do you know? I guess I was starting to end this thing a little too soon. I mean, there's some more raspberries popping up. And this right here is a choke cherry. It's starting to leaf out. I mean, there's parts of it I'm gonna have to do. Might end up doing a little bit of trimming. I did some trimming on it last year, as you can tell. I mean, parts of it that I cut off, you know, because otherwise it would have shaded out my blackberries and raspberries. But ooh. That's a red-winged blackbird. You can tell by right at the start of the wings, you know, right by the shoulder. He's got a nice patch of red. Well, like I said, this is Western New York. And all that sort. Subscribe if you like this. I mean, my garden is waking up and all that good stuff. I mean, who knows, maybe I'll find some more wild raspberries along the way. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll see you later, all right? Goodbye.